So welcome to this very exciting episode of the vlog, because after many months of waiting we're finally allowed back on Jubilee. So on the 4th of July we loaded up the car to the gunnels with kit and headed north to the marina. On arrival I was delighted to see that the boat was in pretty good shape other than plenty of spiders. I did notice, however, the cratch needed a little bit of attention, but other than that everything looked pretty good. By now we would have expected to have taken the boat out for a bit of a shakedown cruise to make sure that everything was working properly, but that just hadn't been possible this year, so we decided to head off on our summer adventure and to fix any problems we found en route. The original plan was simple. Once the boat was all set up and ready to go, we planned to head off to Crick. However, when we got to Crick, we realised that at least one of our batteries and maybe two of our batteries were pretty dead. So we, in a scramble, went back to Yelvertoft, picked up a couple of batteries from the marina there, and came all the way back to Crick. So in the end, that was 3 miles in total. So armed with the 2 batteries and back at Crick Marina, it didn't take us very long to get them fitted and sorted out. And then it was time to settle down for a lovely barbecue. So on Towpath Tucker this week we're going to do barbecued scallops and bacon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get scallops. A couple of things that are important about scallops: they're quite a delicate flavour. So you don't want to be washing them under the sink or anything. You want to give them plenty of time to defrost naturally. If they're frozen, if they're fresh, then you obviously don't have to worry about that. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bacon. I'm going to trim it down so it's roughly the thickness of the scallop. So I'll cut that down the middle like that. And then what we'll do is we'll take the scallop, we'll wrap it up in bacon along its sides, leaving its tops and bottoms exposed, and then we'll stick a skewer through it and we'll go and pop that on the barbie.
So what are they, Carl?
So these are scallops wrapped in bacon on skewers.
And how long do they take to cook them?
You've got to cook them quite quickly, no more than about 6 minutes, and every minute or so you've got to keep turning them. So you can really overdo scallops really quickly.
Yeah.
The scallops tasted really good, and it was a lovely way to start our narrowboat adventure. We awoke on the second day to find the wind howling down the marina. Clearly getting off the berth was going to be the first challenge of the day. As I was going to be working for the following days, we really wanted to get the boat through both the Watford locks and the Braunston locks before we moored up for the night. That would mean if we could do that, Susie could continue the journey single-handed while I worked below. When it was time to leave the berth, I used this strong wind actually in my favour, and rather than trying to turn the boat using the engine, I really just let the wind blow the stern round and just controlled the position of the bow. This might not look the most impressive way of getting out, but it's pretty safe, it's pretty easy, and all Susie had to do was just to keep the bow from banging into the end of the jetty, and then we got out nice and easy to start our journey. And just to show how fickle the canal gods can be, we actually met another boat coming in as we were going out. We both had to perform quite a tricky manoeuvre with the wind Not exactly making it the easiest thing to do, but we got by, nobody bumps anything, it's all part of the game. So after all the shenanigans with the wind in the marina, I was really hoping to have an easy run through the first of the two tunnels. It's always easy if you don't meet anybody on the way through, and that was the case today. The next feature of note for us was the Watford locks. Here the canal drops around about 52 feet, and the week before these locks had been totally out of action with a damaged gate. That, coupled with the fact that we couldn't go through Leicester, we'd been a little bit sweating as to know which direction or whether we would even be able to leave the Yelvertoft area itself. But fortunately, a couple of days before we were due to leave, the locks were fixed, and I understand the backlog of boats was cleared. So actually we rocked up and had a nice easy run down and put us in a good position to do our goal for the day. As we rounded the next corner, I was really surprised at the bow wake that was coming towards me from this motorboat. They really took the notion of a speeding boater to extreme. I did give them a bit of a squeeze to try and encourage them to slow down a bit, because behind me there was a whole line of moored boats. About an hour later and we reached Norton Junction, where the Grand Union Leicester line meets the Grand Union main line. We had to do a bit of a sharp right turn here, and with the wind whistling down, it really made it quite difficult. Susie was on the helm and she did really well to get it round. In situations like this, it can be really useful just to use the bank as a pivot point and to pivot the stern off of. It can make it a lot easier. Next up was the Braunston Tunnel. This tunnel, which was built I think in about 1796, is about 2,000 yards long, and one of the most tricky tunnels I think that we have, certainly nearby where we moor, mainly because it's not particularly straight. There's quite a nasty S-bend in the middle, and if you meet another boat there, you're probably likely to kiss sides. Luckily today though, no boats coming the other way, so we had a nice clear run through, which was very welcome. By about 4 o'clock, we were through the tunnel and heading down the Braunston locks. These 6 locks drop around 35 feet-ish, something like that, into Braunston village. And so as the afternoon drew to a close, we left Braunston behind and headed to the little spot we picked for the night near Barbie Woods. We'd stayed here before and we knew we would get quite a good little mooring. I hope you've enjoyed this first part of our adventure. Next time, Susie will head off as a solo boater while I do some work below, and we hope that the wind and the rain might abate, but who knows. If you've enjoyed this vlog, please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.